All right, we going live, man. What up? What up? What up, Big Leaf, man? Thanks for coming
What up? What
on.
up?
This is my this is my podcast partner, man. We go back to the playground. You know what I mean? The sandbox. You know what I mean? We go back, man, like four flats on the lack. You know what I'm saying? No, this is my partner, man. We come to talk about a couple of topics. You know what I'm saying? About some things that went down in the last 2-3 weeks, Leaf, the things that's been
Shit.
going on in the last 2-3 weeks. But
Probably longer than that.
right, but we're putting a microscope on the things that happened today, man. Something big happened today, and it's something major, for our era. Us real hustlers. You know what I'm saying? Us niggas that turn corners, man. And fuck around, fuck around with the fuck around. But the number one topic is Big U and the Rolling 60 indictment. Big U just turned itself in probably about less than 2 hours ago. And I think they said like, what, 20 something Rolling 60s was arrested.
They
You know what I
said
mean?
19 on the. Oh, they said 19, but it was more than that.
Well, well, it was 19, and then they was looking for Big U, so that made 20. Uh, what do you feel? What do you feel about this indictment that went down, bro? How do you feel about it? Back in our days, man.
Oh well, no, it was on the way. We know what it is. Look,
Right. We know that, but we're just gonna kind of play dumb for the people for a second. You know what I'm saying?
we can't do that play, but I know this much that they've been doing gang sweeps in California and the West Coast for a long time, but they don't do them every year. People don't understand that. Like being in the Midwest, they do like winter sweeps. So after everybody did what they done for the winter, they'll usually come through like right before the summer, May, June, do a sweep, get all the cats that have open
Right.
warrants. You know what I mean? That's been out
Yep.
on the lamb, on the lamb, all winter, right? They'll come
Yep.
through right before summer and swoop everybody up. Now, Cali's different, bro. They'll let some couple years go by, a few years skip, but about 200-300
But
warrants out on people in the hood.
I remember. You
You
remember
know,
back in the
it's a
days they used to
sweep.
hit. You remember back in the days when they used to hit. They used to do them sweeps every Tuesday. Was it Tuesday and Thursday or no? It was.
Well,
I
you
think
know
it was
what?
like
Believe it or not,
Tuesday.
symbolically, now symbolically, worldwide, Tuesdays and Thursdays are raid days. That's everywhere, all across America. There's a
That
reason
used
why
to
they
be
do them
that
on
used to be
Tuesdays
the
and
hustlers.
Thursdays.
That used to be the
Yeah, not
hustlers'
no
days
more.
off. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was out there hustling,
Yeah,
yeah, for real. But
because
that
think
like
about
back in
this. They
those
don't come.
days, even the smokers.
Yeah, but listen, when they come to raid your crib, they don't. When they come raid the house, they usually don't come at like 2 a.m. on Friday or on Saturday. That's be Friday night, Friday,
Hmm.
Saturday morning. They don't do that. They come like Thursday, uh, uh, Thursday night, Friday morning. You know what I mean? Uh, uh,
Right.
Monday night, but Tuesday morning. Huh.
Right. You
They
think
don't come on a
you think they
Saturday
do
and
that
Sunday.
worldwide?
Yeah, it's all through the
You
nation.
think
And the
they
thing
you
about
think that's why I was about to ask you. You
yeah,
think they
because
do it like that worldwide, or is it just California?
no, it's all over. And the only thing is, like, okay, cats that come get you on the weekends be the sheriffs. I mean, the marshals or the feds.
Right. Right. That's how they used to do it in Compton too, and
They don't
it
have
used to
no
be a
ends.
pretty
You know what I
big
mean?
thing. Right.
Yeah, but like the locals, the policemen, they ain't bringing nobody on the weekend.
Nah. Nah. The shit. When they used to do those raids, they were running the regular police off. Like, man, y'all get out of here. You know, they'll talk trash to the regular police when they come, if they just so happen to be in the spot, you know, if they had some intel and knew that it was going to be a raid that day and just so happened to been a run around. I've seen them talk bad to the regular police. Man, go walk a beat or something, man. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So look, let's dive in. Let's dive into it, man. Who played the bad part, man, in this whole Big U situation? You know what I'm saying? You got a couple of different people that took parts in it. You know, you had your 600, you had your loose cannon, you had your Big U.
All of them. They're all capers. It's just there's just different characters. So like 600, Christopher Joy Love, right? Or
Right.
whatever you call itself. You know, I ain't gonna swear from it. He's the Fed. He the police. Yeah, you know, I can't say it. You know, it's hard. You know, that's a Vince censored off CL, but he's the police, man. It ain't no doubt about it. He couldn't be in front of me. I'll be like, man, you're the police, man. Well, why you say that, bro? You look just like the police, act like the police, talk like the police. You're matter of fact, he's so much the police. He reminds me of my little cousin, Little Timmy.
Why you say that about Little Timmy, man? What made you think what leads you to think that he was a little janky, you know, a little policey?
Well, because Little Timmy, let me tell you something. Little Timmy could play basketball with some of the cats on, you know, on the court. Hang with all the fellas, you know what I mean? But Little Timmy wasn't straight up though, man. You know, he liked to swing a different way. He had acquired taste buds, you know. So like to like everybody else, he was like a dude, but to certain people that knew him, like myself, nah, man, stop playing, knock that off, man. You was hanging with the neighborhood itchy booties when you was, you know, when young. Yeah. That was your first friends.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was the Batchy Boys. So I see that on 600, man. I see that on 600, man. I don't care how big. He's big goofy, man.
You never seen him with a girl before either. Never.
It probably won't ever. And if it is, it'll probably be a white girl.
Hey, you know what was weird? That was kind of weird about Big U is before he turned himself in, he took one last throw. He grabbed a rock and tried to throw one last pebble at the glass house before he went in. He said, whoever from Rolling 60s that plan on coming in and taking my position, you working with WAC 100. I don't think nobody from Rolling 60s can take over my division, you know, as far as the what's that called that they do over there?
Talk about the nonprofit grid workers.
Yeah, exactly. The grid program or nonprofit, because between me and you and our viewers, shit, he started off getting 700,000 a year, worked his way up to $2 million a year. Once he seen all of that money coming in, this nigga fired everybody, nigga. He let everybody go. And started that's where the greed started coming in, bro. He, you know, with that $2 million, he's with that $2 million, he's supposed to have a major staff, you know what I'm saying? To spread that money out. No, he went and bought houses. He went and bought cars, you know what I'm saying? He went and bought property. He started vacationing and all type of stuff, you know what I mean? And he's like kicking and screaming, you know, as he turned himself in. You know, he got to go turn himself in, and he's probably gonna get washed up. And it reminds me of a nigga that's being drugged to jail, and he's kicking and screaming on the way in, man. What you think?
Hello? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. My bad.
Nah, but what you What you think about what you think about that act he did, man,
Don't
before he
open
turned
that door.
himself in?
Hold on. Hold on. Oh. Hello? I left
Yeah,
my keys in the door.
in the front door.
Left my Yeah.
Oh
That's how
yeah,
you know you got some good neighbors though.
that and that also tells me, man, you're going through, you're going through a lot right now. We won't talk about that, but
Oh yeah,
shit,
that
but
happened,
nah,
man. I better leave my keys and my pistol at the door or something.
for real, for real.
You know?
No, but how you feel about how Big U, like, he basically tried to rat, or what I call throw rocks at the glass house before he turned himself in. What how you feel about that?
Well, man, it's time for him to put his big boy draws back on, man. Because the worst
Man,
thing to do is go to jail. You go to jail, old man. See,
right.
Keefy D was on the ground
Shit,
rolling
for real.
around. See, Keefy D was on the ground rolling around,
Shit,
trying to shoot his shot.
for real. He's still trying to shoot his shot, nigga. From
Oh
behind
shit, the
bars,
cops
nigga.
over there. Oh, the young
He
cats
trying to
gonna
tell
come and
on
they gonna
everybody.
challenge you, bro. There's no way to be cool with the young. If you cool with the young cats, they're gonna try to extort you. They're gonna take your kindness for weakness,
Shit.
right? No, they're gonna take your kindness for
Yep.
weakness. You're gonna have one. It don't matter. They all ain't gonna be cool with you, man. So it's like
Nah.
when you're in that top arena, man, how do you step in that environment, man? And then being that age, you know, some cats you don't hear nothing on, man.
Right. Like back when my Uncle James used to hustle, man, he had his funds for a long time. He would drive a raggedy car. He would walk around in a oil, like those one piece overall suits, and he would look like a
Right.
bum every day. I seen the police pull him over, and they thought he would. The police stopped him walking down the laundry one time. And they thought he was homeless. They let him go, and he came back to the house laughing because he said he had like 7,000 to 8,000 in his pocket, and the police thought he was homeless and let him walk. But that kind of shines a light on our era, though. Like we didn't
Well,
do a
that's what
lot
it
of
was all
showing off.
about in
You know
our
what I'm
time
saying? In
period,
our
man.
times, right?
That's what it was about. We wasn't with showing the left hand what the right hand was doing, man.
Yeah.
You know?
What? Hey, what made these youngsters change, man, to where everybody's showing off? Everybody wants to show what they got. Everybody wants to floss. Everybody wants to show stacks of money on, in front of a camera. What changed the
Well,
era, man, that brought along the big U's and the whack 100s and some of these show offs?
in our era, us growing up, we had show and tell, I believe, either once a month or every Friday. You got to bring something and show and
Mm-hmm.
tell. But most of us
Yeah,
was
that
probably
big
strict
that
because we
big
didn't
dice
have nothing to
game.
show and tell. Well, listen, we didn't have nothing to show and
Right,
tell. So we just stayed away. We was like, you know what, we
right,
gonna refrain because what do we have to show? So it wasn't really for us.
right. Nigga, a
It was
nigga
really
probably
for the
get dressed on
fortunate.
that Friday.
Look, it
Right,
was really
real
for the
talk.
fortunate, right? And so
Yep,
we may look at the back of the class up in front and be like, man, okay, I admire what that kid got. I wish I had a toy like that. And they would show it off. Like, here's my shiny new dime.
right.
Well, I think it is
But
that
a
we
lot,
finally got a chance. I think we finally got a chance as a culture, as a group, to show and tell. Because understand this, the generation that was above us, a lot of them was drug addicts or alcoholics, so they couldn't show and tell nothing really. You know what I mean? Like, what was the show and tell of that,
Right.
right? Now, the
Right.
next generation, we didn't have them elements, but our kids were brought up spoiled, the ones up under us. Now they want to show and tell because they're able to. You see what I'm saying? Now they're going they're going to school now like
Right.
this little rich kid used to go to school back in the day. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it could just be a
Right.
changing of times. We didn't see it in our time, but they're doing it in their time, bro. They're show and tell. They're a show and tell generation, bro. Nothing more, nothing less. They gonna come show you they
Yeah,
switch.
that's real.
They gonna come show you they twitch, they bitch, they all that, bro. They with all the shenanigans, man. And they stand on it. And then if they get caught, they be like, oh, okay. Like they don't care about the ramifications behind, getting caught up, bro.
Yeah, that's the sad part, bro. That's the
Brick Baby
sad
knew
part
that.
because
That's why he was breaking the filters on them camels, smoking them non-camel non-filters, bro. Non-filter cigarettes, stressing. You smoke them when you in the yard.
yeah,
Them are penitentiary squares.
he was getting himself ready to go back, huh?
Well, he was stressing like he was already on the yard still, bro. Like he ain't left because he knew what they was doing on the back end and was going to catch up with him. And he knew even more because now they're on TV, they're televised, perpetrating a fraud like they ain't done nothing, live and direct. Jack, huh?
Hey, let me hold on. Let me ask you this real quick. We noticed that we noticed that Brick Baby started making a change. He started making himself a little bit um logical for the people, on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And do you think he may start making that change because he knew what was coming? As far as these raids that went down today, or you think something scared him into making this change? Because he went from gangster, straight gangster shit to a nigga talking about booka 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 and man booty and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you think the fear actually made him start making this change?
Nah. That was a mirage. Adam was trying to groom him, not groom him, but teach him a different culture, try to soften him up. Like, man, you're too hard. He was rough around the edges. Let your guard down. Don't be like that. But he had to have his guard up because he was still involved. You see what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
like, and Adam might have had like a little sense of like he could that sense about him that he could change him.
Uh-huh.
And it just didn't work. Cause think about this: all this cast that ran with him so far, they've been
Uh-huh.
like projects. They all been projects, man.
Right.
All of them.
And it seemed like he's taking a major chance with him too. And he because it seemed like the people that really can sell content is the people that have no, they're like a high risk. They're like a high risk. Like,
Well,
all right, he had
that might be his job, bro. He might love his job. The thing is that projects doesn't mean that you're trying to fix somebody. You can be, but projects could be. Listen, man. A lot of people are getting turned over. Maybe more than Vlad got turned over dealing with him. The interviews, the controversy, that opens up that his commentary opens you up to the feds. So if you wasn't doing anything, you should don't do nothing. And if you were doing something, you're on borrowed time. They're on you. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
How's it ironic that all them
yeah,
dudes go to jail? All them dudes go to jail from that show. All of them.
you know what it is, man. People like Crip Mac, Four Extras, Brick Baby. It's like the ones that are high risk. Hey, Baron, there's one in the refrigerator. It seems like the high risk ones, the ones that would probably take less money than like a well known known face to the internet, they're high risk because it's crazy. Like he's been having the worstest luck as far as guests and stuff, co-hosts or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just about to hire Loose Cannon. Bam! Now he's going to jail. His main co-host, Brick Baby's going to jail. Crip Mac, he had hired Crip Mac. Crip Mac's going to jail. 4Extra going to jail. What is it about those high risk hosts, man? Is it that us as black people, like they say, we like watching a crash? We like watching a car wreck before it happens. A car crash. Everybody rubbernecks to watch the car crash, but they won't sit around to watch what happens at the end of the car crash.
He probably likes that. He probably likes the wrecks, bro. You make out on collisions, right? Bigly. More than if they're intact.
Yeah, that's true shit. And he tries to make friends out of them. He tries to become, a good friend to him. You know what I'm saying? But I also think that all right, this is something that could be true. One of the feds are having him get close to these people. Because he has a part of him that makes a person trust him. Y'all start doing drugs together. Next thing you know, he gonna take you to his neighborhood. He gonna take you to the dope spot. He gonna take you to where the motherfucking guns is hid. Then next thing you know, he's willing to tell you all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? What is it about Adam that takes these low risk people and he like damn near hypnotizes them? What in your mind? What do you think is his end all do all with doing that type of stuff?
Analytical analyst. And that sounds real oxymoron. But I met this girl one time and I was driving a cab, right? I was driving down the street called Lindale, right over in South Minneapolis. I'm going back downtown. I'm dropping a customer off in Bloomington. I'm heading back down over downtown, heading down Lindale, smashing, right? And I see this white girl with her hand out, waving me down, bro, because I'm the only thing coming down the street, so the cab stick out. So I pull, burnt the quarter, turn around. Hey, you need a ride? Yeah, I need a ride. So she get in the back seat and she's cool. Like she was real chipper at first. And like we're talking, we're driving, talking, and I'm like, what do you do for a living if you don't mind me asking? Because like you're just out like in the middle of nowhere, you know what I mean? I'll never judge no book by its cover. She says, I'm an analytical analyst. She said, I know that sounds real good. That's what I said. I saw, what is that? She was like, well, it sounds like oxymoron-ish because it's the same thing, analytical analyst. She said she gets paid to go to like major companies, like Fortune 500 companies like Medtronics, 3M, main corporation, and she gets paid to watch their flow and don't say nothing. She'll pull up and she'll just be in the cut and she'll just be taking inventory and notes of what she observes. People taking breaks, coming out the building, doing different things, and then she gives that information to somebody else. Now, what they do with that, she doesn't know what they do with that information. She just pretty much like a security guard, observes and reports. You know what I mean?
You know what that reminds me of?
Job. And she said, you know what? She said this. So she said that she knows a lot of times corporations play corporation games. So they may do stuff to either like hire her company to like better their business or either hurt another business. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they can either be to get information against the business or to help their own business. You know what I'm saying? From what that person observed and reported.
You know what that reminds me of when I hear you say that? The guy that he was a photographer for the Black Panthers, right? Now he's going around taking pictures, collecting intel because he thought he had a government job, and he's following the Black Panthers, taking pictures, and he's sending back this intel to what would be later on known as the feds. You know what I'm saying?
So he never knew where the pictures were going to. He was just thought he had a legit job contract,
right.
And he's taking pictures for the feds all day.
Right. He's taking pictures for the feds all day, and later on he found out he was a cause to the Black Panthers' whole takedown, which
to
ruined their whole organization. Right.
To their demise, even though he was working for it.
Right.
Right.
And he ruined their whole organization.
So Adam might be getting a lot of views and a lot of kickbacks and sponsors, but not knowing that they may be from the feds.
Right. And the thing about it is that's what he could be doing. He could be setting people up to, come to my office, make you feel comfortable. Let's get in front of this camera and tell all of your business while the feds record. You know what I'm saying? While the feds take inventory. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, this information could bring down, your whole drug operation or your hood. Well, right now,
they got some straight. Listen, man, that lineup looked crazy, bro. I looked at that lineup, and for some reason, the pictures weren't clear. Like, it's crazy how they made it distorted to where, like, when you zoom in on that, the names get blurry, the picture gets blurry, right? Pixelated.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too, man.
Right now, that's kind of like, okay, there's something in that because they're covering up for their informants that they didn't took to jail. Because some of them do. Just because they take people to jail doesn't mean they're not still working, right? So,
right.
He had 19 different pictures, but they all look like different strange characters, though, man. None of them fit the image of yesterday's 60s.
Right. Well, I don't think all of them were 60s though, bro. They showed a Japanese guy, like a Japanese guy on there, right?
60s too. I'm gonna tell you why. Check this out. This old underlaw of the gang tradition. You hang, you claim.
Yeah, because nowadays we're seeing Mexicans in the black gang, we're seeing Koreans in the black gang, we're seeing Samoans.
What Big U said, you can't have this spot, you can't have this territory, you can't have my people. So even if he dealt with somebody that was the other, he still indoctrinated them to be his 60s. So when they with their people, they was switch rollers.
Right. And I think he's brought in a lot of people because look, he brought in people that were like, all right, say for instance, Big U. Not Big U, but Loose Cannon's father. Now, this is somebody that had money, and he allowed him to walk into the 60s because he had money, 600, he had money. So he allowed him to walk in. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that Big U would, allow them to come, just be a roller 60. Loose Cannon said that he bought him a car, when he got out of prison a long time ago, like the first time, when Big U did that long bid. He said that, he looked out for Big U, gave him a stack of money, bought him a car, and he said he was only like 17 or 18 years old at that time. You know what I mean? It's a little bit weird. Big Loose Cannon lies a lot too, man. And today, on the No Jumper show, they were talking about the Big U raid. So Whack 100 eventually calls on there, right? And so they're going over some of the charges that Loose Cannon was being charged for, because his girl had called earlier that day and told Adam, some of the charges. And from what she's saying, the only way they could have known some of that stuff is through Big U. But check this out, though.
Hey, the
Whack
feds
100
love that
finally
dude,
admitted.
bro.
Whack?
They love that dude, bro. Let's check this shit out, man. They get to squeeze it
Hold on,
in
hold on. Who
on
you talking about? You talking about Whack
the
100 or Loose
feds.
Cannon?
The feds love Whack 100, bro. Look, check this out. His pit bull get to turning on him, biting it back at him, trying to attack him, and the feds coming like thieves in the night and rescue him.
Yeah,
They get
and
him
next
off
thing
the
you know,
street.
you see him go to jail. Exactly.
Yeah, see what I'm
No,
saying?
but
So
look, Whack
they're handling
Whack 100,
all his light work. They're handling.
Whack 100 finally admitted some of the stuff that Loose Cannon. He finally admitted that some of the stuff that Loose Cannon was saying was made up stuff. But he wouldn't have said that if Loose Cannon was around. No, it's like he's trying to stay in character. But now that Loose Cannon is in jail for sure now, he's willing to give up the sauce. He said, "Oh man, Loose Cannon made up a lot of those stories, like when he supposedly robbed Meek Mill, and it even says it in the paperwork. They got this off of an interview because they gave the story from detail to detail about how Loose Cannon said he robbed Meek Mill, and he said that Rick Ross had somebody come bring him a 50 ball, no 50,000, and he gave Meek Mill his jury back. And they said it the same way. They said it the same exact way how Loose Cannon told it on No Jumper. You know what I'm saying? So they're definitely watching, bro.
Say,
They're definitely watching.
say he really did that to Meek Mill, right?
Right.
That would be a mob. That would be a mob move.
Yeah, but Big U said, not Big U, but Whack 100 said that wasn't true. He said that was just a made up story.
Yeah, of course he's gonna say it because he might have been the one that gave up the location for that situation. Because at some point in time, he was cool with Big U. Stop it. So he's not gonna be right. Some things he's gonna deflect because he don't want to be implemented because it might involve him, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Look,
But
ain't that weird? Ain't that weird though? They were all friends once upon a time. Then at the end, they are all enemies. They're all
yeah,
enemies.
you know what does that? You know what does that split?
Jealousy.
Nope.
What?
Nope. That comes after one thing comes first, the money.
Right.
They was all cool in the beginning when they was making a lot of money together. Everything was going A-OK, and then something happened with the money.
I know what happened to the money. Big U was being stingy with it. Cause look, Loose Cannon told this story, right? He said they hit somebody for it. And I don't know if this is true, we don't know if it's true or not, but he gave this story about how he said that Big U called him like, man, get your team together. So they run up on somebody in LA, hit him for a large sum of money. He supposedly he threw the money in Big U's car and said, I'll hook up with you later on to get my split. So he said, the next day he's trying to call Big U. Big U won't answer his phone. A couple of days go by, Big U don't answer his phone. So he said at this time he's pissed off. He finally gets Big U to answer his phone. So he said, Big U answers it. He answers his phone. He's like, man, like you play too much, man. Where's my split? And he goes, oh, well, I had to pay some bills with it, man. He's like, pay bills? And I think that's what broke the camel's back right there. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. Like that thing right there. And he said this is another thing that he would do too. Like, say for instance, that same crew of people that you robbed, right? He said that they would go back and they're splitting the money up. And he's on the phone with the people that they robbed. And he said they're all looking at him crazy. So he goes, hey, well, I got to give these people back 40,000, and they're looking at him like, what? Man, we don't give money back. What part of the game is that? But come to find out, what Big U would do is he would talk to these people. He would call these people and tell them, look, I can probably get half of your money back, but you got to give me half of it. So say for instance, they took 40,000, 40 or 50,000 from this person, and now he done talk. No, we'll say he done took 100,000 from somebody, right? Now he done took. Now the split is probably 25, 25,000 a piece. Now
Right.
he done talked them all into giving this person back 40,000. He takes them back 40,000. They give him 20. He gets to keep 20. You know what I'm saying? And he'll probably get them to do a verse with one of his artists or something to make it look like, he did a good deed. Look, I got you your jury back, and I got you some of your money back. You know what I'm saying? That makes him look like the archangel. You know what I'm saying? In the situation. What kind of shit is that though, man? What would make you think that a person would have the guts to double cross his own crew like that? You know what I'm saying? Because I see a lot of double crossing that went on in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Maybe
what
bigger
kind of
than what
shit
we
is
think.
that?
Let's check this out. I'm gonna tell you else
Yeah.
who else he might have double crossed. Rondo.
What?
You remember Rondo stopped playing the 60s after right before his cousin got killed?
Right. Yeah.
Think about that. Huh?
Right.
So you might have had something to do with that too.
You know what's weird about that? You remember he went on Big U's platform, that platform, and Big U was kind of talking to him as if like, damn, nigga, why you need the Rolling 60s now? When you was hot, we couldn't contact you. Now all these youngsters are on your ass. Now you need my help. You know what I'm saying? You think that might have been a connection?
That and the thing that I'm gonna tell you what, that Brick Baby going to Atlanta, Rondo from Atlanta, the 60s
Right.
ass Atlanta. They routed all them together through them cats right there, bro. That's what it is. See, with Brick Baby talking all that, I've been to Atlanta, I live there, 60 or so neighborhood. Oh, they're listening like we listen, like, oh, so you the one running that weed and packs back to Atlanta, nigga, and tell them to claim 60s. You one of the lieutenants. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And if you ain't a lieutenant, you a general. Which one is it? Because you're not a street soldier. They're the street soldiers that's there from the neighborhoods, like the Woodies and shit like that.
Right.
Them were the street soldiers. They're from there.
The real head busters.
Yeah, they're from there, bro. But the cats like Brick Baby, nah, they're the generals and the lieutenants, bro. They're coming with the pack, and then they're not putting in the work. That's why Woody treats them cats like that, because he knows they're not the ones putting in the work. They're just, coming in with the goods, like they're doing the JT move. You know what I'm saying?
Straight foot soldiers.
Yeah, they're not foot. The cats that's coming in from out of town, the key turners, they're not the soldiers, bro. Hell no. Hell no. That's always been like that, man.
There was a rumor once upon a time that Reggie Wright.
That's why I'm doing shit, bro. Fuck that shit, because my first thing, because you from out of town, I don't do that shit, bro, because I'm from out of town, and I come into your town, I ain't your plug, I ain't your store.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't even mess with no out of town dudes, man. They just too janky. Yeah, there was a rumor that Reggie Wright was pushing out there too. That he because he owned a dispensary and he was pushing out of town to a lot of dudes, and they said that he would go out of town with the grape streets and shit to to push weed to like a lot of these lower level rappers and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. That may be so. Grape Street, he must have been going down to like Memphis and shit, bro. That's a lot of grape streets out there.
Right. That's where his indictment came from. But I
From
heard they was
Memphis?
messing around. Yep. They had
Yeah,
a
see,
trap
I
out
don't
there
know
in
that.
Memphis.
You know why? You know why I said Memphis, bro? I'm only gonna say things that's already documented for the people. But the reason why I said
Yes,
Memphis is
sir.
because if you go back to 2004, there was a DVD they put out called Hood to Hood, and when they went to Memphis, the only Crip gang that was in Memphis at that time was Grape Street. Them cats was riding around on
Oh,
purple, nigga. On cap, they had horses, nigga, with the purple and the boots and all that, bro. They wasn't playing, but these were straight country
yeah.
dudes, and they were claiming great, right? But they were in Memphis
Right.
and they just tricked me out. Now this was in 2004, bro. This is back in history, so
Mm.
a lot of cats ain't ever seen Hood to Hood DVD, but you can look up them episodes up on YouTube though, man, and check them out. It's real interesting. It shows the old Chicago. It shows the old Memphis. Every
Yeah.
neighborhood they
Oh,
went
yeah.
to.
I remember that. I remember that. And yeah, they had horses on that episode too, didn't they?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they
Yeah, them
showed a
dudes
whole
was
different side. They showed a whole different side of Memphis. You know what I mean? I think that might have been like
right.
I want to say that might have been North Memphis. But I could be wrong
And
though. You know what I'm saying?
you know the crazy
Um,
thing about that is to like a California hustler, he would go out of town and see a town that's slow like that. He would look at that as a gold mine. You know what I'm saying? Their prices are way higher than ours. And the females, they love you. Especially being from California, they love you to death. You know what I mean? And and not to mention the cost of living was cheaper too at the time. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right.
they would see a city like that, and they would go out there and basically shit move in. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So look, all right, with this big U case, what do you think is going to be the end results of this big U case, my nigga? For some reason, I think a lot of that stuff is going to get tossed out because a lot of the stuff that's read on the paperwork, it seems like stuff that they got off of these podcasts and stuff, like from the interviews. You know what I mean?
Think so
A part
because
of
I wouldn't because the fish when it got caught up and opened his mouth, right? And
bingo.
and these cats for a long time been thinking that the enhancements and the gang and all that stuff don't it's real in Cali, bro. They some of them enhancements, all them enhancements carry different time, right? So you do
Right.
this on the benefit of the gang, that's the extra additional time. You do this and benefit the game, that's additional time. So everything you're doing online is about benefit of the game, neighborhood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But with him,
Yeah.
he was doing all of his behind the scenes. And the feds is cold because they're cold tapers. And what I mean by tapers is they're cold listeners, bro. So you think that they're not listening to
Right.
conversation. They done bugged every crevice corner spot that you could think of, and they already done got the whole script, bro. That's why they coming for you. The feds got a 99 point something non-conviction rate, man.
Shit, that's just scary.
And they said this, if they can't get him on nothing like gang and no other crimes, they could get him maybe on money laundering, tax
Yeah,
evasion.
that's good. Yep.
Because
Yep. Because they
um,
said they said like the Ponzi scheme stuff that he was doing. How you say that? Ponzi, was it like
Ponzi
Ponzi
schemes,
scheme? All
yeah,
right. They said like the Ponzi scheme stuff right there that he was doing. They said that's like 25 years off the top before you even get to the murder. You know what I'm saying? That's like
Right.
25 years for that stuff that he was doing, like extorting business owners. They said something about him transporting prostitutes across state lines. You know what I'm saying? That's dangerous. Ain't that does that go under human trafficking?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that'll knock you across the head. Remember you remember what's the dude name who used to make those they used to make those pimp DVDs and stuff.
Uh, you talking about Leroy?
Maroy. He had like like all right, probably like a couple of times a week he would show like this little segment that he would put together. This he would do this to change people from thinking about pimping. He would do like a segment where he show like pimps that end up getting charged for that human trafficking stuff. So he would show
He
it
got
like the
caught
end
into the
of his little
situation where he didn't want to just show the up of the game. He wanted to show the downside of the game because it wasn't just all up. You know what I mean? There's
right,
pimps really going to prison, girls really being killed. You know what I'm saying?
right,
It ain't wasn't just all peaches and cream, bro. I think he wanted to show the other side of the game too,
right.
and
I heard
and
somebody
and that, and that made it to where he wasn't just being like one sided, like he was promoting that lifestyle. He was kind of just raising awareness to all levels of it.
right, right. That's a good answer. I seen somebody that tried to say that they think the police might have scared them into starting to do that to show the opposite side of
Well, they didn't
the
scare him. They didn't scare him. They just told us something about how you conduct business out here. So like some of these cats that then promoted a certain lifestyle, if they didn't caught
yeah,
cases, guess what they didn't have to do? Crime Stopper, intervention, community service. And that's what anybody,
mm,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Catch a certain type of
Yeah, that,
case.
yeah, that makes yeah, that's crazy. All right, we're gonna take a break real quick, y'all. Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah, that's
Hey, what
that's
was
the
you?
flip side. That's the flip
Right,
side to the game, though.
right. Um, yeah, man. The feds, man, they play a dirty game, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
They
right.
play a dirty game, man. All right, with let's see. I know some people that did the feds that did Fed time, so I know a little bit about the feds. Um, your people did Fed time, so all right. Looking at a lot of this stuff that's going on the internet, does that does that ring a bell to you as far as like Fed games and stuff?
You won't ever see none of my people on the internet.
Right, right, and that basically shows the difference between our time and this new era. That's coming around, that's doing all of this weirdo
Ever
shit.
see none of my people like doing no videos on the internet? They won't. They done fanboys. They ain't doing that shit, bro. They just said it's all right. They know it ain't real. They know it's serious.
Right,
Shit.
but
They know
but
it's real.
so look, so you like like looking at some of the stuff that's happening. Does that kind of remind you of like Fed type stuff to you, like between Adam recording all of this stuff and
All of it is. All it is. And the thing is, he's so surprised. He didn't know it was going to do so well with them being so comfortable and and chatty.
right.
You know
And
what I
to me,
mean?
man, to me the way the way Whack 100 documents everything, he records everybody's phone calls. He writes down everything that people say. Man, to me, that seems like some real Fed type shit. You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fair case too. That's how I know. Listen, if he ain't the feds, he's knocking at their door
Right,
because that's
right.
illegal in California, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
let
it
the
is.
people know this. Y'all know this now, people. And whoever listens to this in California, if you record somebody's conversation and they don't know about it, that's really
It's
against law.
illegal.
That's not
Yep,
so.
it's
That's
definitely
not law.
illegal.
Don't
And
let people like all them cats that are doing it online and recording these other conversations. Them are all situations, and that's how you know they
right.
either that makes you either them peoples or you working with them. Because I mean, how is listen, bro, how does that work?
For
I mean,
sure.
where do they do that at, man?
I've heard Whack 100 say that yeah, it's against the law to record phone calls, and B, you can get sued for it. But he said a lot of these dudes they don't know the process of preparing a case like that, or they don't have the money to get a lawyer to go in there and prepare
They don't
a
need no
lawsuit.
lawyer, bro. They don't need no lawyer for a civil suit. I think in most states is this like I think the cap on a civil suit the highest is like 7,500, but you don't need no
Mm,
lawyer, and it costs you less than $100 to file a civil suit in most states. You don't need no lawyer for no civil suit. You can do that all on your own.
what do you have to have? What do you have to have to win something like that? You basically just got to have the recordings and you got to prove that
Your proof of evidence. That's it.
right.
That's all you need. And you got proof of evidence, there ain't nothing else to be talked about, man. It's just cats don't know that it's that easy to do. That's easy to sue somebody.
Yeah,
Believe it or
that's
not,
crazy, bro.
if
Yeah,
they're in a
that's crazy.
suable position, if they're in a suable position, it's easy to sue somebody.
Hey, you know what was weird though today when all right when Big U was turning himself in, right? He had made that final phone call, or he had did that final laugh, right? You know what he said? I
Nah.
don't like Brick Baby. He said I don't like Brick Baby or Loose Cannon. So um Brick Baby was always protecting Whack. He was always protecting Big U. I think something may have happened lately between them two to where all of a sudden it made Brick Baby and Loose Cannon become
They don't
friends.
protect them anymore.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. And all of a sudden, because think about it, to me, the easiest way to betray your friend is to become friends with his main enemy. That used to be Brick Baby's biggest thing about working for Adam. And he told Adam at the beginning, like, yeah, I'll work for you, man, but look, certain shit I'm not gonna say online, especially about the big guy. That's what he used to call Big U, the big guy. I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna answer any self discriminating questions to any discrimination questions to that would embarrass Big U.
Yeah,
And
he
whack
thought
and
so. He thought so until that money talked.
right. And I think that Big U was using them too at the time. No, he was using them all up until the point where he found out that Big U don't like him. You know what I'm saying?
But
Bro, hey, look, I'm looking at this. All right, you know that big picture that shows everybody that's indicted. Bro, they got all
but
type of people that's on that picture. They got like a white looking dude with a flat top on there. They got a like a Japanese looking dude.
that's what I was telling you,
They
man. They
say
all
that the
really
Jap
different type of characters, right? Right. All the
remember
cats.
you hey you remember when I was telling you that Big U had Big U had went to somebody's t-shirt shop, right? And
Right.
supposedly after he left that t-shirt shop, they got raided. You know what I'm saying? The Japanese
Right.
guy is the Japanese guy is the one that owned that t-shirt shop, and I think it was called Leaf. It was called uh, damn. They said the name of it too, but anyway, he owned some kind of t-shirt shop. Now, do you think that dude is from the '60s, or he's somebody that maybe Big U took under the wing because he had connections in like downtown LA area and like the Garment District area?
He's in the diamond too.
Huh?
He's in the diamond too. Is he? They got a picture of him
Yeah,
too.
yeah, the
Huh?
Japanese guy. Yep.
Oh yes, he was doing some dirty shit with some females.
He and look, he's one of the people that they're still looking for.
Yeah, he was fucking with the females. See, listen, each one of them characters is for a different case.
Yeah.
You know?
Big U might have been extorting that dude. You know what I'm saying? He probably was. It was probably one of those things like I can't beat you. I can't get out of you extorting me, so I'm just going to join you. Because Big U had a lot of people. Now I think he worked like downtown area. He had a t-shirt shop down there, where they make custom hoodies and all of that stuff. So Big U probably took like his people to him to get like custom hoodies made, like the Rolling 60 hoodies or whatever kind of clothing or whatever that you wanted custom. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
said that Big U was at his shop one time, and after he left, you know, you already know how that ended out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, that's just weird, bro.
Well, that's gonna come down, bro. Maybe bigger. That might be the case of the century because if it involves Nipsey, if it involves Lil Durk, Quando Rondo, all that's gonna be on some real live mob shit, bro.
And what would happen like toward the end of this trial, right? Next thing you know, you see Eric Holder hit the stand. How do you think that would change the whole trajectory of this case?
Well, the thing is, it's crazy because when he get up on that yard, he's gonna have to fight like Aaron Holder did. He don't even know it. He got a backlog of things to take up in there when he get up in there. Think
Right.
about that. Cause the cats put him with Big Shistro, Baby Shistro. They're looking up at what?
Mm,
Like, oh, y'all the niggas that killed Nick. Okay.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
That
And
make a
then
lot of sense, bro.
and then Black Sound got people under that love him. And they know the story about when he
Hmm.
let one off in the air. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So, it may be hard, it may be rough for Big U, Brick Baby, and Loose Cannon up in there, bro. I ain't gonna stunt.
Yeah, man. Especially loose cannon, bro.
And
He
then
like
they
he.
up in there with 4 extra too.
You know it's
Oh,
crazy. They had them niggas downtown, right? The ones that got arrested in L.A. They had them downtown, but they had them like in tents. They had them fools in tents and shit. I don't even think that they're going to even see the inside of downtown LA. They're probably going to hold them in those tents until the feds come pick them up. What you think about that?
nah, that's the thing, man. You know what I mean? Because they're not really that active. They are within that double block radius and shit.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy,
Yeah, man.
man.
This
But
shit.
check. So all right, you know you you know how when somebody get arrested, right? I know this is
Right.
how it kind of goes in California. They'll stack up a bunch of charges on you to end up um, losing a lot of those charges, or not even losing them. We'll say they'll throw some of them out to stick you with the worstest ones. What are the
Right,
charges that you think? What are the charges that you think is going to for sure stick?
All of them.
You you think so?
Yep. Yeah, you hear me, bro. Listen, man, I'm already that dude that six nigga 600 600 506 600 the popo.
Yeah, it's 600.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He let us out some information about that nobody else knew, bro, and it was accurate
Mhm.
because the what's stolen in the murder is Jay Sean Williams. I mean Ray Sean. Let me say his name right. Ray
Ray
Sean
Sean,
Williams.
yeah,
Yeah, man, he
right.
shot that bro. I know he was shot in the face. I don't know who did it, but they say that he allegedly did that. You know,
Yeah,
and
that's
so
crazy.
he knew about the information about his DNA being in dude's fingernails. And the only way for that to happen is he had to grab him, man. You know what I mean? There must have been a major scuffle going on, bro, between him and dude, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
You know?
Yeah, I know. I bet you they had a nice little. I bet you they had a nice little tussle before he popped that nigga. I bet you they had a nice tussle, and he was getting the best out of Big U, man. What you think?
I believe he was because, he was he was taller and he was an athlete, athletic. He probably was on
Yeah,
his
they say he
heels.
was.
He probably was on
They say
he
he was
probably was on like a dirty shirt.
right.
You know what I mean? Big U didn't know what to do. He just went for that waistband and yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. And then think about it. You out there in the desert. There's nobody to. If y'all two out there fighting, there's nobody to break that shit up. You know what I'm saying? It might have been a
Yeah, but
situation where.
who's to say? Who's to say that it happened? Who's to say that it happened? Like right there in the desert. It might have happened somewhere else. He just dropped him off in the desert. They said his body was thrown out there. You know what I mean? Like
Shit, that's
what is
crazy.
two kids doing in the middle of the desert, talking, walking? That's not even normal, bro. You don't know what's out there. There's coyotes with show, maybe some rattlesnakes. I
For
don't know
real.
what else, but yeah, bro. It's a desert. Some stuff's out there, man.
Vultures, all type of shit, man.
I ain't seen none of
Definitely.
them. I mean, I done seen some coyotes, man. I tell you that much. They out there.
Yeah. How long did they say? How long he sat out there in the desert before he was discovered?
I don't give me the line, bro. I don't think that was that long.
Mm, that's
You
crazy,
know?
bro. They and look, it's gonna be hard for him to get off of that, right? Because they said Big
Huh?
U was the one that dropped him.
They said
That
what?
was that was a that was a that was a real brazen act, man. Because they said Big U was the one that supposedly was supposed to drop him off in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to. I don't know when you start putting those situations together. Like Big U don't he doesn't seem to be a dumb nigga, man. So you dropping him off out there and you killing him, that don't seem very smart to me, man. Like unless there is in a situation where old boy just got bucked, and like you
Yeah.
would you brought me, maybe he told no maybe Big U was giving him a ride to Vegas, and maybe argument started, on the way, that eventually had them getting out the car. So I'm type of nigga like this, bro. We in the middle of the desert, and you gonna kill me, nigga? You gonna have to shoot me in that car, nigga, and drag me out that motherfucker. And wonder if that's what happened. Wonder if he shot that nigga in the car, and Big U drug him out, and maybe old boy was scratching, how he got his DNA under his nails. Maybe he was trying to fight back. You know what I'm saying? He might have been kind of trying to fight back. That Big U don't look like he got any stretch marks on his hands or nothing, or on his face. So like, where could he, if he got some of the Big U's DNA under his nails, like what part?
Yeah, it could have been from them two fighting, bro. He might have just scraped him that bad to where he was digging in on, bro, and he pulled that and he went to grab out. I'm like, you know what I mean? Because you don't know how the DNA roll, bro,
Right.
You don't know, like, it may not be skin, it may be just his saliva, DNA, blood, you know what I'm saying? From him hitting him.
Shit, it could be shit. It could be it couldn't be sweat. That wouldn't stay under his nails that long, or would it?
But it'll be a trace there though.
Right. That's true. But look, if they in the desert fighting, and you don't see no scratches on Big U's face, where could the scratches be at? No, it happened in the
desert, bro. It happened at the house, and he dropped him off in the desert. So that might be more realistic.
So you think they might have maybe wrapped him up? They might have killed him at the house, wrapped him up and put him in the car and dropped him off and on the way to Vegas.
Yeah, because that's why I asked you, what house did they raid at Big U's?
Shit, when he was doing this like last little confession or whatever before he turned himself in, he said that they raided all of my houses. Now I have a video, right, showing his house in the 60s. Two-story nice house, you know what I'm saying? And this is when 600 was rolling past the house. Now the police done knocked his he got a big ass window in like the front part of his house. They shattered that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is a nice size house, the one in the 60s. And that might have been like the main family house. Like, now Big U has a house that like, say for instance, where all the football players may meet up at. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all spend a night there, they all hang out there. If he's gonna have his boys over, that's the house that he take them to. I think the main house that him and his wife stays at most of the time, I don't think nobody's going there. What you think?
Well, having a nonprofit, because they want your computers and your documents and your books, they'll raid every house.
Yeah.
Also, too, looking for a murder scene.
That's what he said. He said they raided all of his houses, all at the same time.
Yeah, simultaneously, and they're probably looking for a murder scene. That'll be the house in Vegas.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But they got cameras out here too, so the chances of them backtracking him, coming and going up out of neighborhood are high.
Yeah, that's bad.
All them communities, you see them communities, bro. They're all gated-in communities. They got cameras, bro.
Yeah.
All through them communities, man.
Yeah, they all look nice, man. They They look like pretty expensive houses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're on the visual grid, bro. So okay, even in that time period in 2001, I could say that they had some cameras. It wasn't as what it is now, because of course they got more cameras now, but they had some cameras.
I think cameras they may have been around for a while, man. Well,
What's
not
about
to
where they
like
had them at, bro? You know what I mean? Like the highways been had them, the entrances, the exit ramps, on ramps, they been had them.
for a minute. They had them on the lights, like the green and yellow and white light, or the green and red light. I remember they had them on there for a minute, but they eventually took them down.
Well, they still got them in some place. So the thing is like, they probably seen him coming and going from all them areas, bro.
Mm-hmm.
From where the body was dumped to his house, all that shit.
That might be under the evidence, bro. Remember, you remember when they killed Duck? What was his name? FBG Duck. Man, they showed them fools leaving their apartment, jumping in the car, coming out the neighborhood, making that right, driving that street all the way down, jumping on the freeway. They even had them on the freeway, bro. Driving all the way down the freeway, jumping off the freeway. Think they made like 3 turns. They might have made like 2 or 3 turns to get into like the little area where they killed him at. You know what I'm saying? Plucked him, jumped back in the car. They followed them fools all the way back home. They didn't even try to shake the tail. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it was somebody following them like they had a tail on them, but damn, man, if you think that somebody's following you, you don't want to go straight back home. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention the fools had their cell phones on them, so they was pinging. Every time they would pass a cell phone site, bam, it pings. You know what I'm saying? So that's another way that they was able to follow them. So all they have to do is they have to follow the all right, they got their cell phones, right? Now all they have to do is activate the cell sites. When they get their phones, they can see which way they went. You know what I'm saying? And bam, once they see like the cell sites that they rolled through, all they have to do is activate the camera system. You know what I'm saying? And bam, it pulls it right up. Then you're able to follow. You're able to find out which way they took. You know, the exact way that they took. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they were able to get every part of the location of them traveling. You know what I'm saying? To there and back. And it might be the same thing for Big U. Like they say they got 50 something people as far as people that's going to take the stand that are witnesses against Big U. Now there's no telling how much evidence, like actual evidence, that they got on this fool.
They say they got 50 witnesses.
50 something witnesses. That's just right now. You know what I'm saying? These are probably people. And these are probably people that had complaints on Big U, like people that were being extorted, whose names didn't want to be mentioned. No, that's just right now. Like between now and before the trial starts, they're probably going to be another 100 that pop up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And then too, look, this is another game that the feds play, right? They got Big U. They got Brick Baby. They got Loose Cannon. Now, who's to say that the feds won't make them all turn on Big U, and they're gonna arrest them niggas, right? Because they say that they couldn't have Brick Baby for much. You know what I'm saying? But they know that Brick Baby once upon a time was close to Big U. So he might know where some of the bones is buried. You know what I mean? That's just a figure of speech. But you know, he may know some of the info on Big U, man. So that might have been the reason
They're not done, bro. That's who they gonna get next.
Who?
One guess, nigga.
Adam 22.
Correct. For human trafficking, prostitution.
Right.
Sex slave.
Ooh. Ooh, wee.
Fucking with them sex workers, bro.
I didn't even think about that, but that is damn sure possible, my nigga.
You saw they did Ron Jeremy.
Right. Right. And Ron Jeremy, he felt like they fucking railroaded him. No, he said that like he never raped nobody, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays all it does is take one scared prostitute. No, they bring
But
her
you
down to the
know,
police station.
Adam just for them, the white motherfuckers, they'll sacrifice that white boy because he's just one person to them. He's not nobody.
No, not
You know what I
nobody to
mean?
them. And they don't like, and they probably wouldn't like him because how close he is to the black culture.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why they'll sacrifice him even quicker, bro.
They would look at him as a person that committed treason against their own people because he gave so many black people jobs, you know what I'm saying? So he would be enemy number one to them.
Yep.
Yeah, so
but they look at him as the goofy though.
Yeah. I tell you what, I bet you they have went to his house and asked for his cell phones, right? Because think about it. All these people that go to No Jumper, they come there and before they go on camera, they all hang out and like the No Jumper lobby. They're playing pool, they're shooting basketball, they're bullshitting, and there's always somebody there recording. So they're gonna want that. You know what I mean? They're gonna want all of those recordings, before and after No Jumper, because you know something that was in the indictment that they talked about?
No.
The Jay Reed incident, and they mentioned in the indictment him being jumped in the back of No Jumper. So you don't think they went to No Jumper and asked for some actual camera footage and maybe a clear camera, a clearer source.
And even Wack tried to underplay that and say, "Oh, he was a gangbanger and he wasn't no pastor and he was this, he was that." Man, that don't explain that beat down with the brother get his pants torn off, ripped off. Come on, man, that was wrong. That was real inhumane. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I had to turn away. I had to turn my face away, man, when I was seeing that shit.
That made me feel like, come on, really? That's what we on? And then you know the thing about it, bro. I'm gonna tell you something. Luke, he's it's something really wrong with him, but he's like the he's a challenge dude that is aggressive, but he's not actually hard. It's just an act. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of the handicapped kid, right? That handicapped kid that was in the class, right? That was actually a little bit smarter. That was actually a little bit smarter than the other handicapped kids. Now, one thing they say about handicapped kids, no, I'm gonna tell you a couple of things they say about handicapped kids. They're brave, they're strong as a motherfucker, right? And they're thinkers. They're thinkers. And that reminds me, all three of those remind me of Loose Cannon. He might have been the smartest kid in the handicap class, you know what I'm saying? And somebody that maybe overcame the Down syndrome or whatever, you know. That's what he kind of reminds me of. And he still has some configured, like some things, like some configurative parts of his handicap that still bothers him, like listen to the speech. He still doesn't really have control of his speech. Now you
Right.
know he's seeing a speech therapy because uh, Brick Baby asked him about seeing a speech therapy, and he gave him a phone number because I guess Brick Baby's daughter kind of has a speech problem. So he gave Brick Baby a number to a speech therapist that he has a close relationship with. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he might be still working on trying to get his speech right because he definitely sounds like a slowpoke ass nigga.
Something might have happened to him. And the
Yeah,
reason why I
like
said
what
it
do
is
you
because
mean?
his twin brother don't sound like that. Like he might have had a stroke or something. Something might have happened with that dude. Brain
Right,
aneurysm. Something might have happened with him,
right.
man.
Mm-hmm. You might be right about that, bro. Something, and he walks a little weird too. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it
he
messes
might
with your
have done
gait, it messes with all your equilibrium and all of that, bro.
right, right. They say when people have a stroke, it may make one side of your body weaker than the other. You know what I'm saying?
He could have got jumped or something one time and had frontal lobe damage or something. You know what I'm saying? Right, like certain things, bro. You know what I'm saying? Could change a whole person to get down. And he might be that because his twin don't ain't nothing like that, man. So that lets you know something might have happened with dude. Without a doubt.
Yeah, that make a lot of sense, man. That definitely make a
Oh,
lot
that's
of
kind of
sense.
that's what I got from I couldn't take him serious. Especially after I seen that look, that fear in his eye for Cowboy. I said, "Oh yeah, man, he's like the tough Crip Mac."
For real, exactly. Um, all right, who do you think would surprise people on the stand? Like, say for instance, this case is coming together, right? And they say
Huh?
they surprised with. You hear me?
Yeah,
All right, who do you think would surprise people the most? All right, say they're working on this case and they're saving the best for last, right? They're saving the strongest witness to the end, right? So
right.
who do you think would surprise people more? You know what I mean? When if they got on the stand, would you think
Whack, whack. Everybody gonna walk off his
hold on,
show. Yeah.
hold on. Let me name some people though. All right, say Eric, all right, we'll say number one, Eric Holder. Number two, Whack 100. Number three, Loose Cannon. Number four, Brick Baby.
Yeah.
Number five, Adam.
You gonna put your
Who
pajamas
who
on?
you who
No. Here, put these on. You said who would be what?
all right. All right, no, we'll say number one, right? Brick Baby. Number two, Loose Cannon. Number three, Whack 100. Number four, uh, Adam. Number five, maybe we'll say Flacco, right?
Right.
Uh, who out of those
Oh, that's
five?
a good one. That's a good one.
Who out of those five would surprise people the most? Like who would people like? They would throw everybody off. Like what the heck? Where the hell did he come from? You know what I'm saying? Who do you think out of those five would surprise people the most? That would take the
Maybe
stand.
Flacco. Maybe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
Because people be like, what business did y'all two have in common? Like, what was y'all doing together? How did y'all cross paths? And it could have been on the, it
Right.
could have been on that, it could have been on that cryptocurrency.
Right. There's still I've seen some people still getting on Adam's head for
So that's one
getting
thing about it is
get by,
is that that might have got, if that's the case, if Big U got anything to do with crypto and it got something to do with Flacco, that's what got the feds put on him because um, some of these brothers from other countries, they're not going to give their temporary citizenship up for you, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're not
Definitely
gonna give
true.
their temporary. Yeah, no, listen, man. They will tell. That's why the one girl on Money's page was saying she'll tell everything she knows if her boyfriend does some dirty, she knows about it. And he asked where she
Wow.
was from, and I think she said Africa, Congo or Congolese or somewhere in Africa, right?
Oh yeah,
And
that's that one girl, man.
yeah, I can't
She
think
used
of
to
her
work.
name. Dancing is her name.
Her name is
Dancing huh?
Dancing Diamond.
Diamond. Right. Okay, so there we go. So look,
Right.
she says she'll tell everything she knows. But I want to get in depth with Money, but he don't, he only can go certain directions with him sometimes. So listen, man. This is what I want to tell him is that all of them are like that. They're from another country, bro. They're gonna tell on you real quick. Them women ain't no good. Not
They
for
got nothing
us.
to,
Not for the
and they got nothing
not
to,
for the American
and
Negro.
they got nothing to lose. They'll just fly back to their country if it gets bad. They'll get out of here.
Yeah, it's like there's so many different things that like they can't be involved with no criminal activity, else it messes with their citizenship. It doesn't just
Yeah.
give them like a strike, like you be online and you get a warning and you get a strike. No,
You're out of
they
here.
they lose their citizenship, bro, over that.
Yeah. Especially right now with the way shit's going with Trump. Oh, you fuck up, nigga. You out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done that to a lot of foreigners that came over here, that tried to get married or whatever. You know what I mean? No, they really checking in on that type of shit, man.
So that woman ain't ideal for us per se because of that.
Right? I definitely don't trust them. Shit. They'll tell anything, nigga.
Yeah, if we're in the motherland, then
Yeah.
that's something different.
Hey, and one thing that Flacco said. Hey, I'll talk
Now,
about anybody on here. I'll talk about anybody on here, but Big U. So Big U done pumped some fear in that nigga. He makes all of these weird videos about everybody else, but he won't say nothing about Big U. You know what I'm saying?
he probably went to the feds on him.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you
Yeah.
that Liberian brother, man, and I have to say that because he don't want to go, he don't want to get sent back to Liberia. I got some brothers over in
Right.
Liberia that got stuck over there when they went back, bro. My homeboy was in,
Yeah.
he went back. When he left, he didn't realize that he couldn't leave and not have his debt paid off. When he came back, coming through
Wow.
custom, they ran him for child support. He owed like 20-some thousand in back pay.
You serious?
But when they didn't let him come through.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's deep
But
right
that was the
there,
whole point.
man.
Yeah, man, for real. That was the whole point of him coming to America to make more money, but there's still money there where they're at.
Hey, what's like the price difference on money over there? Compared like Liberia compared to American money. What's the price difference on the dollar over there? I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I could look it up real quick.
Right.
Yeah, matter of fact, let me look it up real quick. Hold on. All right, price difference. Price difference. And currency Our currency, America. How you spell Liberia?
LIBER.
LIBIA.
Yep.
Yeah, I found it.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. USD. Yeah, I can't understand this. It's a, I guess, a $1. All right. All right. It says 0.00503 compared to $1 American. I don't even know what that equals up to, but that might be like let me see, hold on. All right, $1 United States. No, that can't be right. It says $1 United States equals to $200.05 Liberia dollar. You think that's right? It says one United States dollar equals 205 cents in Liberia. That can't be right, could it? You hear me? Leaf.
Yep.
You think that's right? It says one United States dollar equals to $200.05 Liberia.
One of our dollars gives them 2.5 Liberian dollars. $2.50.
No, it says 200.05.
One of our dollars gives them 200.05 Liberian dollars.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
That's why
That takes making it rain to a whole nother level, bro. $5.
That is crazy, bro.
Yeah, one of my peoples, man. I bet he was from over there. His dad was still staying over there, but he said he retired from Goodwill. I mean, not Goodwill, but Goodyear Tire Place, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got rubber trees over there. So Goodyear and Firestone, their main hubs, their main manufacturers over there, right? He said he made $275 a month working for him.
Whoa, shit.
Huh?
I said, whoa.
It was proud of making that much a month.
That's probably like $1.50 compared to American money.
But once again, once you just broke down the breakdown of their money, you may be balling. Because think about this: $1 gets you $200. So $100 would get you what, $200,000?
Damn.
Something like that.
That's crazy.
Huh?
That's crazy.
So it
That's
just
a lot of
seems
money.
like it's a lot of money, but the value of it's low.
Right. Things like the price difference of like items over there.
Like
Might be a lot different. You know what I'm saying?
100,000 Liberian money, and our money is really, listen, 100,000 Liberian money and our money is really $10. Well, it's 100,000 in their money.
$10, or you think it's $100?
Well, I'm just giving a guesstimation, but I'm giving a rough one. Like, if for every dollar is 250 cents, or is it $250? You just gave the broke down of that. For $1 of American money is 200 and something dollars of Liberian money.
Yeah, it's $200. All right, it says 200.05. That 05 could equal to $5 maybe. I don't know. I know. I had seen some guy do an interview, and he was like, "Man, you never trust a Liberian woman." He said, "Why do you think it's called? Why do you think it's called Liberia? Because every woman over here lies. They lie through their teeth."
Think what Michael Jackson did that song, Liberian Queen.
No shit. They probably had some fine ones over there. I know one place in Africa where they got some bad ones at. Over there where Nip was from.
Okay.
They got some cold ones over there, man.
She got some what?
They got some cold ones over there in Eritrea, man. A lot of them got green eyes. You know what I mean? Green, blue eyes and shit. But you wouldn't even know because like the women are always covered up. Their faces always covered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my boy DP. That's what he was. He's from there. His mom's from there, Minneapolis. Yeah, Young Supreme. He does transportation. Shout out to Supreme Transportation, man. He's known in that realm, man. Yeah, man. But
shout out Supreme.
Yeah, man. But you know that the East, that's East Africa, though, bro.
Right.
That's all that is. That's the East. You know what I mean? But Liberia, that's the West.
Yeah, I heard there's like a. I heard that there's a big.
You heard it? What?
I heard that like East Africa versus like South Africa, there's a big culture change on each, like every different side of Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's supposedly like a big change in culture, on different parts of Africa. I know it ain't like it used to be, man. Like you remember growing up, we would see like these videos about Africa or these little shows, and they show them out there with big stomachs walking around barefooted and chasing down hyenas. And I don't think it's like that no more, man. I heard that what's that one singer name, man? He got a project to where he's pitting lights in Africa in different cities in Africa and shit, and he's built casinos down there.
That was Ethiopia, right?
Right.
And I met this dude when I was driving the cab, right? He
right.
Met all kind of different people, man. But this dude, Ethiopian brother, right? He said that he's from there. He said that what the world didn't know was that, or didn't understand at that time, a lot of us was younger, but they had experienced several droughts, redundant droughts, like back to back, right? And they couldn't harvest no grains, no rice, or nothing like that for the years.
I know that.
He said that people are so biblical, they wouldn't eat the animals around them, bro. So there was food really during that whole save the world hunger in Ethiopia. There was food. It wasn't just the food to their people, to their belief.
So basically, their religion wouldn't allow them to eat some of the lower hanging fruit
that was there. That was there.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. I damn sure remember growing up, and we used to have a name for the Africans. We would call them niggas African booty scratchers and all type of stuff. But that's what the world, as far as media, they would want you to think that Africa is lower on the totem pole, but they actually have a lot of resources down there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. A lot of resources, man.
Yep. The white people done went down there, sucked up most of the resources, and shit, they done pushed up out of there. They done bought land out there. They done bought whole cities out there, man, and shit. The Africa that we once knew out there, man, it ain't the same, man. Them people done raided the diamond mines and took the resources, man, out of the country that's supposed to be ours. You know what I'm saying? And they'll look at one of us like we're crazy. I seen somebody had put up a video, right, and they were talking about how if you wanna come home, if you live in another country, right, they're like advising people to come back. So they had some little program that if you came back to try living in Africa, I forgot like what city they said, that they give you some kind of grant, like a startup grant to get you going. You know what I'm saying? To try to see if if you want to come back and live in Africa. But I wouldn't do it, man. I seen how they punish motherfuckers out there, bro. I would not. Remember? Oh yeah, remember that video you showed me, and it showed that one crowd of youngsters out there, man. They got whooped bad by the governor of that city. You know what I'm saying? They punished that dude real bad. And supposedly he went down there with some of his people. You know what I mean? He thought it was supposed to have been like a free trip out there, like a vacation. But he ended up getting stuck out there and got himself whooped real bad. I think they ended up killing him too, right?
I don't think so, but yeah, they got hey man, mess around out there, man.
They ain't playing at all, huh? Especially the story that I heard about General Butt Naked out there. Yeah, I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, man. That was supposed to be like a war.
He's a hero now. Now he's a hero.
Yeah. If you want to start a fight with, if you want to fight with Flacco, mention
right.
If you want to fight with Flacco, mention something bad about General Butt Naked.
General Butt Naked, man. What I didn't like about his style of war was, I don't care about the butt naked shit. He used that as a defense to kill people. Because when they see him come out the water naked, they throw him off. But the thing is that I didn't like about his strategy of war was they sacrifice the young, and he would eat the heart and then give the blood to his young soldiers.
Yeah, that's kind of sick, bro.
So what it is he was practicing cannibalism during his war days.
Young age.
Well, sick, he wasn't that young, but the soldiers, he had a young crew. They were all young, Some was as little as young as 7 years old, bro, 8 years old. And
wow.
Also about that is when the war ended, they weren't accepted by the people into the village because they were scared of them. They were like, man, y'all was coming through the village, killing motherfuckers and shit, knocking motherfuckers down. Some people got their fathers knocked down, their brothers knocked down, So
what they end up doing with the old
what they ended up doing was General Butt Naked. So General Butt Naked and them and some of his people were sleeping in cemeteries and in coffins, and they didn't have no food, so they'll take the bodies out, boil the bones, eat whatever skin, whatever they could get,
Oh,
savage
come
off
on.
that. Yeah. But they were practicing
Oh, shit.
they were practicing cannibalism on all kind of different levels. One was for war and one was to survive after the war. So it
That's
makes you
some sick.
wonder, wow, man,
That's some sick shit, bro.
I can't make it up. It's a documentary on YouTube about it,
No, I
shows it
believe
all.
it. I believe it, but damn,
It's a couple hours.
that's some sick shit.
Yeah, it's a couple
Yeah,
hours, man.
that's some sick shit right there, bro.
And it's a trip, bro, because every generation and every group of people have their lowest point of something they would go down to and they would experience. So like my dad and his brothers and sisters, them growing up, you know, their parents being from the South, you know, they would have rabbit on the table quite often.
Mm.
You see? And then when we were born and now we're sitting at these new tables, you know, they replaced their elders. We ain't ever seen rabbit on the table at all. We seen chicken, a lot of chicken, but not no rabbit ever. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now the
That is
next
real crazy.
generation that's up under us, a lot of them ain't favorable of chicken. They don't like chicken like that, man.
You talking about in that country?
No, out here even.
Oh, I don't know. Some people would say that chicken would be one of the chosen, animals to eat. You know what I mean? It's more healthier, I would think.
Right.
But then again, like you say, everybody has their choice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Different choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
If it was all set, man, like that, man, we wouldn't have no luck on, bro. We would be on
Yeah, for
shit,
real.
you
Yeah,
know.
that's real talk, man.
Got cats like Flacco. I don't even know how he got a job on no jumper, man. That just
Well, you know why? It's because he does the type of stuff that Adam likes. He exposes a lot of people. And he's not as scared. He's not afraid to mention names that certain people wouldn't. That certain people would be afraid to mention. And he has kind of his podcasting style is kind of like Adam's. You know what I mean? His style of like interviewing is like Adam, but he kissed a lot of ass, bro, at the beginning.
who did.
To me, Flacco, he kissed a
Then
lot of ass, and he disrespected he disrespected a lot of black people. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning of his like podcasting career. You know what I'm saying? So I think that might have that might have put him in front of Adam's fucking camera and shit. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, yeah, no, he talks a lot of shit about white people. You know what I'm saying? But he would not. He won't disrespect Adam though. He just
right.
won't do that. He, I've even heard him say stuff like, Adam. People should respect Adam. He's like our slave. Like he's like the slave master that cared about his. That they cared about his slaves. They taught us how to read. They taught us how to live and stuff. So we he still he has that who was that? Oh, Kanye West. He's the one that said that he has this thing where he feels like slavery was a choice. You know what I'm saying? And you should
Right.
love your slave master. He that's his way of thinking. which is weird as hell, you know.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I
All them
don't
cats
like
is
the
working
nigga,
for
man.
well, all them cats is working for each other in some type of way, man. Even if they were appearing they didn't like each other, they were working for one another, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're all kind of intertwined in that shit, bro. Brick Baby, Loose Cannon. What's the other one, man?
Almighty Suspect.
All them cats.
Sharp used to be there, but he ended up leaving. You know what I'm saying? But
He dodged
you
a bullet.
notice, like, well, yeah, he did kind of, but he kind of got screwed over. You know what I'm saying?
How he get
Because
screwed over?
Because all right, he has a lot of viral interviews that he did, right? Now the
Right.
content, Adam told him. Now this kind of blew up in his face too, right? Adam told him that, yo, man, if you know we're friends, man, so even if this don't work out, shit, you're gonna be paid for the rest of your life due to the content or whatever. Now, as soon as him and Adam get into it, now all of a sudden he's saying, no, he's not paying that nigga nothing. He's not giving them no money. You know, he said he's not chipping off nothing. And Sharp's pissed off about that. I think he can take him to court. What you think? You think he could take him to court for something like that?
I don't know, but it's gonna be hard to. You probably have a contract. But
He
and it's
said that they
camera
submit.
footage. But
He
it's still
said
gonna be
that
like
he said that Adam submitted a contract to him, but he said he didn't want to sign it because he felt like Adam was trying to get over on him. But then now that can screw him over because you don't sign a contract. That basically is saying that basically forfeits you for your money that's owed to you. If you'd have signed that
right.
contract, I think if he'd have signed that contract, Adam would have had no choice but to give him the money that he's owed. And that's the messed up part, man, because you look at the other people that works for No Jumper, right? That would be that would kind of be like a thing where I would be like, whoa, you screwed over this dude. I'm not fucking with you. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. He gonna miss Brick Boy, man.
Yeah, he already said, man, he miss him. He'll probably bail him. He'll probably bail him out.
I
Knowing
bet
Adam,
he may not have no bill for that, bro.
right? Oh yeah, feds usually they don't do like the bail. They don't let people get bail out, do they?
They do, but it's hard to.
Right.
Most people don't get their
Wow.
bill.
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens, man. That's a little weird, man. If full extra, it gets out like in April.
Nah. Yeah, what's he been talking about?
Full extra.
Yeah.
Well, when they went to court and Adam talked to him over the phone, him and Rosenberg, which is his lawyer, they showed up to his court date. He was on the phone talking about he fought 5 and 6 niggas and shit. And I'm like, man, knock it off, bro. Yeah, he supposedly gotten all his fights in there and shit like that. But yeah, he get out in April. They just violated his parole and shit.
He must like
Some
swapping
shit.
DNA with motherfuckers, bro.
Got to. He done took another hit, you know what I'm saying? He lost Brick Baby. That's gonna be a major hit for him because Brick Baby was damn near coming on every night.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna be a little weird, man. But I don't know. They say that you know, Brick Baby they don't have very much on Brick Baby, so there's a possibility he could be getting out. They might just be putting the pressure on Brick Baby to show him like, no, we need you to testify against one of these dudes. And they could just be doing a scare tactics to him, you know what I'm saying?
I
Because
doubt it.
Brick Baby just went to jail. He just went to jail, you know what I'm saying, not too long ago. And he remember everybody was saying how he scammed Adam, right? He had went to jail. He called Adam to ask him to bail him out.
Right.
So he ended up didn't even have to spend the bail money because they let him out on the OR. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know Adam was mad at him for a minute because he kept that money. I forgot this. I think he said that they said that bill was like 10 bands or something like that, and I guess his accounts were seized. So supposedly he called Adam and told Adam like, "Man, bail me out, and I'll get you back whenever I get out, or and we'll just take care of it like that. I'll take care of you when I get out." Now, supposedly, when he got out, he never paid Adam back. Now, I don't know if Adam took it out of his paycheck or whatever, but supposedly, he didn't pay Adam back or whatever. That's what Whack 100 said.
Right. That's crazy, man. That dude, listen, bro, that dude, he's been on here campaigning for a second now.
Who?
But Brick Baby, bro, but every few weeks he goes in.
Yeah, for real. It's always something, man. Yeah, it's definitely always something. Yeah, I definitely can't wait, man. You remember how we were saying that there's always a situation, man, that makes content gold. It's like every month. We had the YSL trial, and Woody. What was after that? The YNW Melly. The Lucci trial. Uh, the YFN Lucci trial. And for this month, it's going to be this Big U trial. This is the YouTube gold that we've been served. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to be content for a long time, bro. I'm scrolling down YouTube right now, right? Everything is talking about Big U all the way down. Well, they're talking about Jim Jones on this channel, but I'm scrolling down, bro. They're talking about Big U on every channel going down. Everybody's doing reactions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Shit, I even see Neptune Lagoon right now.
Yeah.
When no jumper called Whack earlier, and they were I think the dude Remo asked him like, man, what's the deal with you? What's the deal with you and Big U? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, Big U is a shifty character, but other than that, I just can't stand the nigga. No, I can't stand him. Right? So they go to a video. This showing how. All right, this showing how Whack 100 hates on people for no reason. Right? All right. They go to a video where Whack 100 was saying that somebody asked Whack 100 like, bro, the dude has done a lot for the community. he has a son that's in the NFL. So he said, "Hold on, let me stop you right there." He said, "The nigga's hurt all the time. No, he's riding the bench. The nigga is a failure. He probably gonna get dropped from the Chargers." So
Mm.
they just shake their head like, "Bro, you're a hater. You're a major hater." So then they show a video where they had these two news analysts. They were talking about Big U's son, and they were saying that he has him as a linebacker. He probably has more tackles right now than any other linebacker in the NFL. They said he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's going to spend. He's going to be in a lot of Pro Bowls. They said that this dude is the future of NFL. You know what I'm saying? And White 100 got quiet. He didn't say nothing. I'm like, dude, this dude is a major hater. She's crazy, man. To me, man, he hates for a lot of a lot of fucking reasons. Oh shit, we got my nigga Demon Time in the chat. What up, Demon? If you still in there, man. What's going on with you, my brother?
What up?
That's cool, man. You came to fuck with us, man. All right, eyes closed. No, my eyes ain't closed, man. I'm just an old smoker, man. My eyes are always low like that, my man. You know,
That's
yeah.
what he said. I can't see the comments.
Yeah, yeah. He said, "Is that nigga sleep?" Nah, man. I'm just an old smoker, man. My eyes are always low like that, bro. But yeah, man. I appreciate you coming to the chat, man. That's some real shit. But shit, man. I think man. We gonna close it out, man. I think we done been on for like 2 hours, Big Leaf. Shit, let the people know, man, where they can, one thing, man. You too humble, bro. I gotta tell you that. My nigga Big Leaf, he makes some fire music, man. This nigga's a hell of a artist and a producer. You know what I'm saying? And if you really want to check some of his workout, this nigga can paint like no other. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he paint.
That's some other level shit. That's some next level shit
Hey,
right there, man. Hey, yeah, that's a whole
hey,
next level shit.
but you a hell of a painter though, man. But you a humble nigga. You don't like to mention that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
let people know, man, where they can find your music at. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, just
let them know
knowledge.
your
Yeah.
platform.
Tap in real and real radio. That's all. You know what I
Right.
mean?
He got a
You
song
know.
on he got a song that I love on his YouTube channel, man. You know what song that is, right? You know what I'm about to say.
Oh yeah, that part.
Up,
Yeah, I
up
know
north,
the.
up north, up north, up
Oh, up north.
north.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's one of
yeah.
my favorite songs, man. You know what I'm saying?
You know the crazy. You
I
know
think
crazy thing about that, bro. Bro, that song
uh,
I mentioned this little cat named Buddy, little Buddy up in the song. Now, Buddy was one of
right,
the first cats out of Minnesota, out of Minnesota, to get to get on MTV back in the day. So this is like a big video was on MTV at that time, and he was the only cat from Minnesota to be on MTV. And
right.
something happened, and he ended up, I believe, robbing a bank, then going to the feds. And let's
That's
fast
crazy.
forward. My
Hmm.
pops, he did some time up in Wakasika with little buddy. Him and little buddy was cool. They was actually checking our movement out when we was doing music. We had a chance to be on the local network, MTN or PBS. We had a show on there,
Right,
and that show, the cats from prison used to watch that show, man. You know what I mean? So
right,
little buddy and my pops was like, oh, my pops like, that's my son. Da da. Little buddy like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Now let's fast forward to now, today's time. A couple years ago, man, I met Lil Buddy's uncle, and then, now I met him on a humbug, dude.
Right.
Now Mac and B asked me to do some work for him. This cat, out of I believe he's out. I want to say out of Oklahoma. Now it's crazy because he's Bishop Don Juan's nephew, and he's an uncle of Lil Buddy. So,
wow,
he tells me this, and this is an older cat, man. He's older than me and you. You know what I'm saying? He older, man. You know, but he's cool. He's like, man, I need you to record a couple songs for me, man. Da da da. So I have him bring the computer. It's set up to the Airbnb, mic and all that, bro. Mic them in, recorded them. But when I was about to get into the computer, I opened the computer up and it said Buddy McLean. I said, man, what's Buddy to you? He said, man, that's my nephew. He let me use his computer. Get the fuck out of here.
And that's the same dude that went on that show you was talking about.
No, he seen us on the show when, you know, me and Mr. 5'2" had the movement going on, you know, in the city at that time in like early 2000s. But Lil Buddy was the first cat from the soda that be on MTV, man. He had a mainstream video on there, man, doing numbers. But yeah, you know, and he still has music out right now because just recently he did a song with this girl from Sounds of Blackness. I don't know if you're familiar with that group.
Yeah, I remember them.
Okay. He got a song with the lead singer from Sounds of Black with her daughter. There was one main singer that had some pipes on her, man. Her daughter is the lead singer now for Sounds of Blackness. You see what I'm saying? So the mom used to be, now the daughter is.
That's deep.
Yeah, so she got a song with Buddy, man, in today's time. You know, but it's crazy, man. What I found out is cats, man, you know, once you do music, man, you always gonna be doing some level of form of music. That's why I don't promote it. I'm humble about it, bro, because if you mess with music, and if somebody knows, all they gotta do is ask you and they'll find your music, bro. Because what I found out is every musician or artist keeps something in their repertoire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got a beat from you. You was keeping in somewhere locked in the vault and turned it into a song. You know what I mean? So yeah, every artist keeps something in their repertoire. You know what I mean?
And that shows me how creative you were, because you know I really didn't even have that beat finished. You know what I'm saying? You
right.
You know, you took that beat and worked with it. You know what I mean? I think you might have added a little bit more to it, and you had let me play it. You had let me listen to it one time. We was on live because hold on, was you in Minnesota at that time?
When I recorded that song, yeah, I was.
And when you played it, I'm like, damn, that's a tight song. And you was like, oh, you really don't recognize that beat? I'm like, no. He said, that's that beat that you made. I'm like, oh shit.
Right. I didn't add nothing to the beat.
I started listening. Okay,
right.
Well, it was so much time that passed by that I didn't even recognize it was my beat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this dude is talented, man. You know, y'all can find his music on YouTube. Y'all check his channel out. You know what I'm saying? And you even got music on SoundCloud too, don't you?
Yeah, just look up Big Leaf on SoundCloud. That's all. You just got to look up the name, but you'll find my music. That's all. That's another reason why I don't, because really all you gotta do is just Google the name. But
right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's why I like getting on. I like going on with the dude, man, because he's very talented. He's very humble, and he'll never even tell you that he does music or he paints or he likes making beats and stuff, man. So good nigga, man.
Because motherfuckers be having all kind of talents. That's one thing about it in the nigga kingdom, bro. We all got talents, bro. We got many talents. You know what I mean? And we don't want to exploit ourselves ever, bro. I mean, as a man, I don't ever like to, so I just leave shit alone. Cause it's not like I'm gonna ever jump off YouTube and come paint for somebody, bro. Like you had to pay me thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like it just would work like that. Like, you know, uh, and even to like do music, a collab off of YouTube or something like that, bro. I mean, I view music differently now, man. You know what I mean? It's when
Right.
when we first started out with it, man, we was young and dumb, bro. We didn't know no better. So
Mm-hmm.
at that time, it was a lot more funner to make music because we didn't
Mm-hmm.
know all the other shit on the other side of it. Now it's
Mm.
like you make it, you're thinking about other things, man. The more of the cons than the pros. You know,
Right.
when you know less about the irony of the game, you're thinking more about the pros and the cons. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when you start to know about
Right.
that shit, man, it become a lot of it's the con game, as Mr. 52 called it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. So I don't,
Makes sense. Makes
you know what I mean? A lot of con game, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, let people know, let them know about Awkward Beginning. You got a lot of interviews you be doing, man, on the low, man. If people gotta start planning, tap in with you to get them interviews done, man. Straight up. Cause yeah, one thing
man. But
about it,
you know what?
you do a good
I
job
kind
doing
of took a
interviews.
break, man. I appreciate that too, man. But I kind of took a break on the interview thing, man, because I just kind of wanted to, go back to the drawing board and just kind of create my own style of doing interviews, man. So really, I like over the last couple of months, I've turned down a lot of interviews and shit, man.
Yeah, I
So
think you
I
got
could
your own
just kind of
style of doing
create.
interviews though. I think you got your own style because
Right.
you want to select people that do interviews in people's natural environments. So like
Mm-hmm.
most of the other interview, platforms and channels, man, they got people on there and they interviewing them directly in front of them in their
Mm-hmm.
background, their setting. But the interviews I see you
Right.
do, it's good because you had the split screen and you get to pull people into their background, their natural environment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now you in their living
Right. For
room.
sure.
You know what I mean? That's a
Yep.
unique style of doing interviews right there in itself. You know what I mean? That lets me know that
Right.
like not too many people do interviews to where they pull up on people, man, and they do the interview. It's almost like them tiny desk shows,
Right.
right?
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean?
Well, you
Like
know
think about that.
you
You know
know
what
the
I
reason
mean?
for that, man. I don't trust a
Well,
lot of people in my spot, man. So that's one
well,
reason.
well, no, well, but that's fine. What I'm saying though, you don't see where interviewers are going out to the interviewee, going to where they're at,
Mm-hmm.
pulling up. Because a lot of cats, they it could be a fear thing, man, a fear factor.
And that's true.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's true, man. Yeah,
Because they
you
don't know
you
if
hit
they're
it
gonna
right
get
on the
their
nose.
cameraman robbed. They don't know if they're gonna get their cameraman robbed. They gonna get robbed. They don't know how it's gonna happen, bro. Like there's so many different scenarios to how
They
uh
they don't know if
it
they don't know if a nigga gonna double back and come and break in a nigga house or something like that. You know what I'm
be
saying?
you come to interview somebody, say that they're paying you, right? Like you don't and there's people that pay for interviews to get
Right.
interviews done. Not just because it's not a
Mm-hmm.
one-way thing. People think that you got like your CWs where he gets paid
Right.
to be interviewed, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then there's people that may pay Shannon
Mm-hmm.
for them to be interviewed.
Right. Because
You know,
he
they
said
may have a little bit more bread. Go
I
ahead.
heard him say that. No, I heard him say that he don't pay for interviews. You know what I mean?
No, no, no. What you hear what I'm saying is that he may have people that pay him. He don't
Right.
pay for
I heard you.
interviews,
I
but he
definitely
may
heard
have
you.
people that he may have people that pay him, bro. Because listen, he got a big audience. If
Yeah.
as
Right.
is advertisement, their bread
Right.
naturally may be longer than his, and they don't. It's not no sweat off to them, but this promotion, boom, boom, boom. Here's this. Do this for me. That helps them out, right? So it's the way they pay for a promotion
Right.
or whatever. So I could see people paying him to do an interview for them to be interviewed.
Well, I
You
think
know.
those are the people that need promotion. You know, you got people that say, for instance, they're already stars. Then you got people that
So
are on the
so
lower.
so what do you think this? What do you think the bag split was? He said he don't pay people, but Cat made his
Right.
shit go off the roof, man, out the roof.
Man,
Probably the last time he'll do big numbers like that, bro.
I hope he gave that boy some money, man. I hope he hit him with
I mean, if you telling me he don't pay people for interviews,
he said that.
how him and Cat didn't have no split. Cat came in there. Now Cat didn't ate off that since then he didn't had a tour.
Right.
And he's making money off that tour. So that might have propelled him to be to stand that the test of times that tour. However, you didn't pay the man?
I hope he did, because that interview helped both of them.
Right.
It helped Cat promote his the tour that was coming up, and the numbers. Shit, that might have, man. He might have seen a meal ticket, maybe more than a meal ticket for that interview. Just that
I
one
bet I
interview.
bet I bet he didn't pay Cat, and that's why Cat was taking extra shots on the show. Like, damn, I'm gonna
Right.
drink all this nigga up there, nigga. You ain't paying me, you know what I mean? Give me this shit, nigga.
But
Uh but
I also heard Cat say that after that interview, he said something like he's going to be real selective on the platforms that he go do interviews on. It may be because he felt a certain type of way after maybe not being paid on that platform. You know what I'm saying?
but see that's how I know he didn't get paid because
Hmm.
check this out. If Shannon would have paid him
Right.
for that, he would have
Hmm.
did he would have did more and more interviews that were just
With
as big as that one.
with no problem.
Well, no problem. But something happened. That's the backlash of karma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Because Cat went on to win and do big shows and doing them right
Right.
now. He's on tour
Right.
right now. But Shannon ain't had nobody, man, worth anything like Cat Williams brought to the table. Matter of fact, I ain't watched that dude's
Well,
show since Cat Williams.
well, I mean, he's had some good people on there, man. I would think so. Um, I know
Not worth me watching.
he's had one of the Wayne brothers on there.
Not worth me watching.
He's had Wallow and Gilly,
Not worth me watching.
right? He just had Andrew Schultz on there. This was
Yeah, really
probably,
not.
yeah, yeah. I know. I wouldn't watch him to save my life. Um, he's always got Ocho Cinco on there. He's had some pretty occurring reoccurring guests, but I'm thinking maybe like this. Maybe he might be getting ready to start paying people. You know what I'm saying? That's what it could be. You know.
Man, he ain't paying nobody shit, bro, because he could have been did that.
Well, you got to think. Vlad didn't always pay people though. You know what I'm saying? He said that Boosie is the first person that he actually paid. You know, and Boosie kind of changed his way of thinking as far as paying people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when you're paying people, there has to be a scale. There has to be like a scale judging by your star. You know, your stardom. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a major star, okay, I'm gonna pay you this much. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
if you're not that high up on the totem pole as far as stardom or whatever, we got to negotiate. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what Vlad said.
Right.
If you're somebody that does big numbers, it's no problem to get a bag. But we just got to negotiate it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Because
Right.
he no. He said no. It wasn't Bootsy. Keefe D. He said Keefe D was a person he paid first. That was the first person that he started paying. So yeah, that's what started all of the the payola, should I say? You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, man, shit. Yeah, you can find my boy Big Leaf, man. You can find his music on YouTube on his YouTube channel, his real on Real Radio. You know what I'm saying? You can find a bunch of
What I
songs on
want
there.
people to check out though, man, it was all a lie, man. That's the story, man.
Oh yeah,
Of
that's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, that's an audio, man. An audio thing I've been working on. Audio type book. It was all a lie. My story, man, of these scallywags. Some of the baby moms. Well, it's all about my baby moms, but it's more than one. That's the whole catch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a pretty good song right there, man. I like that song.
I'm actually I'm gonna do 3 more of them, man. I'm gonna do 3 more of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good shit, man.
Yeah, man, but we don't know, man. Tomorrow we might wake up, man, and they got Whack, man, and Adam, man. You know, we don't know what this world coming to, man. They went from getting Big U to the Boogie Man to Little Shitty, Brick Baby, because that's really is, man.
Right.
And you know, it's gonna be interesting how them dudes gonna get treated in there, man. Waiting and cause all the smoke, all this oopala, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, all them got some shit that people don't like that they been doing, man. Yeah, I just don't know which one's worse.
Especially somebody like Whack, man. But at this point, I don't think Whack's going to go to jail. I think he protects himself very well. You know, he records everything. You know what I'm saying? And I think he knows how to put one foot in front of the other to prevent himself from going to jail. You know what I mean? And he's not a person that's going to hang with you. He already said that, if you're doing crime, I don't want to be around you. You know, I don't do any crime no more, but you never know what a person do on their free time, though.
Yeah, shit's wild.
But yeah, we're gonna close it out, man. We're gonna come back on this week though. Probably either tomorrow or Friday, man. It's early in the week. But we're gonna close it out. But
yeah, y'all be good. Yeah, for sure.
This is Awkward Reels News. Awkward Reels TV news channel. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get a little bit more serious with this stuff. We're gonna start coming on more often. For those that came in to check us out, we appreciate y'all. And make sure y'all go over to Real on Real Radio and check out some of his videos, man. He got some nice stuff over there. So y'all have a good night, man. This is it. All right, brother.